Okay, so who here knows what a cloud is? Yeah, heaps of people. The computing kind of cloud? Are you sure? Okay, cool. All right. Well, we've got a slightly educated audience, which is pretty good. Really, I'm here to talk about cloud computing. You might have seen that slide before. That's what happens when you use free stock photos. But I'm not here to talk about this kind of cloud, even though we're all really familiar with this one for the past week or so, when I moved out of New Zealand to get away from that kind of stuff. But that was a few years ago. I'm here to talk about this kind of cloud, which is a bunch of servers sitting in a data center. The IT kind of cloud. It's really becoming bigger these days. There's talk about cloud computing. It's not really clear 100% what it is, because everybody makes up their own definition. This guy loves hot dogs, also runs a really big database company, Oracle. He went and said that cloud computing has been defined to be pretty much everything that we already do, which is kind of true. Cloud computing is really poorly defined. Every vendor just wants to jump on the bandwagon, so they start talking about cloud this and cloud that. But really, in 2010, it has been defined, and you're already using cloud technology. Now, one thing cloud is not, or cloud computing is not, is it's not grid computing, right? So grid computing is where you get a lot of individual computers and make them into a supercomputer. Look, that could be partly cloud, but it's not what cloud is about. Cloud is really about not caring where your apps run as long as you can get access to them, right? So as long as your application is up and running and it's performing well and it's scaling well, who cares what computer it's running on, what server it's sitting on. So there's three main kinds of cloud. They're all relatively similar. The borders are slightly fuzzy, but they're still all cloud computing, right? The first kind of cloud that I'm going to talk about anyway is a software cloud, also called software as a service. Been around for a lot of years, but now we're calling it cloud computing, right? When you look at software as a service, this is really where you access your application that's running somewhere in the cloud. Usually this is through a web browser, but it's not always. The biggest examples, Google Apps, Gmail, those run in a cloud. Whereabouts is your data? Who knows? Who cares? I can get access to it. Mozy Online Backup is a pretty cool example. You just install a piece of software on your computer, and it backs up your data to somewhere on the internet. Next kind of cloud is a platform cloud. So this is where you're building software, you're building an application, you can build it to the cloud. So you can take advantage of all the benefits of cloud computing, like scalability, reliability. It doesn't matter if that server goes offline like at Google. Google doesn't tend to go down, but they have servers fail all the time. The main examples, or some examples of platform clouds, are Microsoft Azure, which is relatively new in Australia, Google App Engine, so build your app on Google's infrastructure, and one I like to throw in called Heroku, which is a Ruby on Rails cloud startup based in California, where all the startups are. Infrastructure cloud. So this is really kind of enabling cloud for businesses. They can put their existing servers that are all on-premise, they can go and shove those somewhere in a cloud. Really, I see this as kind of a bridge to the platform as a service and software as a service mentality. And there are some of the vendors out there right now. The ZenCloud project, kind of funny that I put that up there because they don't actually have anything yet. But vSphere is real, and Amazon EC2 has been running for quite a few years. Now, okay, I'm going to give 3 reasons because 3 is a good number. I've used 3 already. It's convenient when you've got 5 minutes. But there's many reasons for cloud computing, right? And these are a couple of them. The first reason is that the operating system starts to become irrelevant because the browser is the real delivery platform. It doesn't matter really if you've got a Mac or a PC these days. It used to matter. If you use Linux, I feel sorry for you. They've got a support group. I've been there. I was cured. The other aspect of cloud computing, another benefit, is to forget about IT caretaking. Going forward and patching your apps, keeping things up to date, installing software, backing it up yourself, automate it. The cloud provider will do that for you. And the other is pay for what you use, right? So when you look at the number of users you've got or the number of, say, email addresses you want, you can pay per mailbox with something like Google Apps, or you can go and pay for the memory and CPU you use with an infrastructure cloud rather than going and buying these big servers that you might not actually use. So kind of a little bit in summary or declouding. There's three main kinds of cloud: the software, infrastructure, and platform clouds. And there's a few benefits. There's many more, but you can pay as you go, forget about the operating system, and don't worry about IT caretaking anymore. Now, this is kind of the future. It's kind of here today as well. If you want to get in touch with me, there's my details. I do tweet about once a week, but I do read other people's tweets that tweet more frequently. All right. Thanks, guys.